Peace, King. How you feeling? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. How are you, bro?
Man, all is well. I got to thank you for coming on the platform. It's definitely an honor.
Oh man, it's my pleasure, bro. Let me see if
Right.
I just got these new glasses.
Oh,
Um,
what kind of glasses is it?
I mean, they prescribe. I mean, they. I mean, they Gucci or whatever. But but I just mean like I haven't worn like prescription glasses. This is the first time. I've been wearing them for maybe like 3, 4 days now. So I'm trying to get used to it. But I don't think I'm gonna do wear them.
Oh, for the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you because I just interviewed. You hit the DF4. He from Cleveland. He be making a lot of glasses for like Snoop and Big Daddy Kane and Too Short.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think I
Yeah,
might. Yeah, I think I seen them too. They're pretty dope. Yeah, I think I seen Snoop post about them.
yeah. He from my city. But man, I know you got moves to make, so we're gonna get right into it. For the viewers who might not recognize you, let them know who you are and definitely where you from.
My name is Carl Jones. Originally from Fayetteville, North Carolina, also known as Vietnam, home of J. Cole. um, yeah, man. I'm an animation producer, writer, director. Been in the game for almost 18 years now. I got my first break on the Boondocks, and since then went on to produce a bunch of stuff for Adult Swim, like Black Dynamite, and a handful of other things. And I've done some stuff on the live action side too. Working with Fox and TBS, like producing Last OG with Tracy Morgan, and most recently we just dropped Young Love on HBO Max, which is I said we just dropped like I'm a rapper, like we just dropped the album. We just did Young Love on HBO Max with Matthew Cherry, based on the Oscar award winning short film Hair Love. And yeah, man, I make cartoons mostly.
Man, that's dope. But you done made some iconic cartoons. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna stand the test of time. It's a lot of messages, and still people can enjoy them and laugh and be entertained at the same time.
Thank you,
I gotta
appreciate it.
thank you for that. I gotta ask you, how did you even get into animation? Is it like something that's genetic? Like, is people in your family artists, or was it something outside that influenced you to want to, be an artist like that?
Well, um, to be an artist, well, I don't know, but I mean, I've been drawing ever since I could hold a pencil. I mean, my dad was an artist. He didn't do it as a profession, but he was an artist, and he encouraged me to draw since I was a really young kid. But I don't know. I used to watch a lot of Saturday morning cartoons growing up. I was the kid that would sit in front of the TV with a big bowl of cereal every Saturday, like it was a ritual. And I don't know, I was just turned out, man, by animation. Like I just was a big fan of it, and I used to try to draw the characters, or I collected comic books, so I would a lot of times. I wouldn't just read the comic books. Like a lot of times, I would try to, recreate the pages in the book, and sometimes I would trace over the characters and stuff like that, before I actually learned how to draw myself. But just always being a fan of it, man, and just having big dreams of, you know, doing it myself. I love the way it made me feel. And when I would read comic strips or comic books or watch animated cartoons, and I don't know, I wanted to give people that same kind of feeling.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, you took it back to the cereal and the cartoons in the morning. My thing was X-Men. That used to be so dope, man.
Yeah, X-Men was dope. It's funny though. I remember when I was growing up, I didn't really see too many black people, in cartoons. We would have a few here and there, but you didn't really see a lot of representation. So it was interesting because I was a big fan of the Flintstones and I was a big fan of the Jetsons, but I realized there was no black people in either one of them, right? And so I was like, damn, like they don't think black people are in the future or in the past, And that was something that always stood out to me. I didn't necessarily think at that age that I would, contribute to anything that would make a difference, but I definitely knew that was a void, and it was something it was something that was missing. And as I got older and I actually got my first break in the business, I thought it would be cool to some way change that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, you a history maker. I got to thank you for your contribution because you made some major points that representation is definitely necessary. You know, so I can ask you, like when did you get to the point where you like this is gonna be my career? Like this is what I want to do forever. Like you know, what was that like?
Um, well, I always wanted to make it a career. I just didn't know how it would happen, you know. But I think the breaking point for me was, you know, I was kind of stuck in a dead end situation, man, where I was selling like bootleg. I was the movie man in my town, right? So, you know, me and my partners, like we sold a lot of bootleg movies and clothes, watches, mixtapes. I mean, you name it, bro. We was, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, growing up in, you know, North Carolina. Um, you know, we would have to make trips, you know, in order to get the product. So we would, you know, we would drive like 9 hours to New York and 9 hours there, 9 hours back just to pick up like movies and you know, merchandise and stuff, right? And I was doing this like I was moving so much stuff that I was going sometimes once or twice a week, you know, and it got to a point where like, you know, it's crazy because I had a situation when I was selling bootleg movies. Because I used to a lot of times we would go through the projects. That was like where we would make the most money, like the first and the 15th. We would make a lot of money in the projects. So there was this a convenience store that was like right behind the project. So then when the clubs let out, everybody used to come out there and hang out, right? So one night I was out there, it was like, I don't know, 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. And this was kind of the breaking point for me. So it was a guy that came up and he was like, yo, I bought this movie for my daughter. And I believe it was like Flubber or something like that. And he was like, I bought this movie for my daughter. He said, but when I put it in, there was like a guy that like walked in front of the screen, you know what I'm saying? I want my money back. And I was like, well, when you go to a real movie theater and somebody gets up and walks in front of the screen, you can't get your money back, you know, which I thought was clever, but he didn't think it was clever. So long story short, he ends up leaving pissed off. And I don't know, it was a little while later, you know, I'm standing in front of my van with my table of movies and my boy Hood that was standing next to me. And I see this car pulling up in the gas station with a bunch of dudes in it. And I recognize the guy from earlier in the passenger seat. And he rolled up. And right before he actually pulled out a gun, like I grabbed my boy Hood and I just told him to hit the ground. And he ended up like shooting out the glass of my van, like all the windows. And then they peeled off down the street. And my boy was like, yo, let's go get them niggas. I'm like, you could go get them. Like, I'm going home, man. And I went home. I remember I sat on the edge of my bed. And, you know, my ex-wife, she was just like, I told her what happened. And she was just like, this is crazy. Like, you about to, you know what I'm saying? You about to get shot over a Flubber movie. Like, what are you doing? So, but it was a wake up moment for me because, you know, here I was, like, I would come back home at night and I would draw and I would write. And I had like a little drawing table in the kitchen because it was a little tiny cramped apartment. And I had a big box that I would just like throw a lot of my artwork in when I was, you know, when I was drawing. And it was just taking up space, collecting dust. And but I knew it was a passion. It was something I couldn't do. I couldn't live without, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though I wasn't getting paid for it, I knew it was something in me that just had to do this. I was driven. So, long story short, after a couple visitations from the feds and different things that was happening, I ended up just packing up everything and just taking a chance and moving to LA.